And we're back with the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC. We've got a great show for you. We've done movies like Footloose, we've done Fame, and now we're going to finish up with the movie that put John Travolta on the map. It's called Saturday Night Fever. And Toby, this one came out back in 1977, the year of Star Wars and so many other great films, and including this one.
Exactly. This was one of the biggies for that year. It's one of those things here in the Midwest, we had seen inklings of the disco craze. Mm-hmm. I mean, we watched Bandstand and that kind of thing and saw some of that. And disco was just beginning to hit like a Studio 54.
Danny
Yeah, there we go. But we hadn't really seen it in the Midwest until this movie hit. And it just opened the door to the disco craze for the whole country. And this was the movie that opened that.
Because that album was so good.
Oh, it was
that
phenomenal.
soundtrack.
The Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees.
Hello.
Yvonne Elliman and all of the great artists that were on that. Of course, Barry Gibb wrote or produced or sang on 99% of the album.
Yeah.
And
breathed on the other.
Exactly. He could have breathed on me anytime at that time. But it was just one of those that opened the door for the whole disco craze for the country.
John Travolta stars as Tony Manero. What's his deal? He's a dancer and he knows it, right?
Well, it's because he's not good at anything else. Seriously, in the storyline, he really wasn't
Big fish, little pond.
Exactly. He just wasn't doing much in school. He was a delivery boy, but boy, he could dance, and he was the man on the dance floor at the discotheques.
My favorite scene in this entire film, and it's probably one of your guys' too, is when he's at dinner with his family, and he's got I can't remember, but it seems like he's got this huge bib on to protect him from his clothes he's wearing.
I didn't want to mess up the shirt.
And he keeps on talking smack to his family, and his dad keeps smacking him in the back of the head, and he's like, "Hey, my hair!" I love that scene.
I'm surprised it didn't break the hair, too, with all the hairspray that he had on it.
I love that scene. Sabrina, Saturday Night Fever, are you a fan of this film?
I am a fan. I was a young person. Mm-hmm. When was this movie brought out?
77.
Yeah, so I was like 4th, 5th grade. I wasn't exposed to this movie when it came out.
Uh-huh.
But I saw the clothing that came out after, and I saw the influences that it had on the community and the world, and my mother, and my mom, my mom starts, wearing the flare pants and the jumpsuits, and I can remember watching her transform into that from one era to another, and I'm older than she was then, so I think, oh gosh, yeah, she was, hip.
Exactly.
My mom was hip, but now I watch it as a 40-something, and I look at it and I'm just like shaking my head, like, oh my gosh,
did we really wear that?
Well, it's not even it's not the wear it, it's the what were they thinking? It has nothing to do with costumes. I mean, it's the mindset that there's life in the discotheque, and that's it.
That's it, exactly.
But
I know
then
what you're saying.
Remember, there was only life at Skate City here, and that was it.
That's where you were somebody.
Group. Yeah. And if you got asked to go around during the Twilight Dance, you were somebody.
You were
too,
somebody.
But otherwise, it's just, I can relate to it on so many different levels. And it's one of those movies you really should revisit as you grow up. Because the movie is still the same as it was when you first were exposed to it, but your mindset changes. And you start again relating to the parents. Get out here after midnight. Why you always got to be gone? Why can't you be like your brother? And, all that stuff. And
the last time I watched it was watching the Stephanie character. Because that's a whole different level there also, is that she is trying to be something that you're realizing she's probably never going to be.
Yeah.
And
this is his partner.
Dance partner.
That's it. Just dance partner.
That's all she wants. He has more in mind, but she's just using him as a stepping stone to get to the next level. But she's, to me, a very sad character.
Yeah.
Because she's just so untrue to who she actually is.
He's telling these tall tales.
Right. And trying, to name throw and saying, I'm doing this, and you find out, she's not doing any of it. She's just a secretary or an assistant to the secretary. Yeah.
But then there's also the dance partner he had prior who was constantly trying to get his attention.
Annette.
And bless her heart, she just goes down way
she goes down the rabbit hole.
Path. And the friends, so-called friends, go with her, take her there. It's just you just go, wow. That's what I mean. Like,
his friends are all have their problems too.
Jerks.
Yeah. But didn't we all have some of those friends in high school?
Oh, yeah. And hopefully I wasn't
hope
one
you're
of
not
them,
listening.
Yeah.
The ones I'm running, I hope you're not listening because you're not it. We all had those friends, though, that
hung out with us because we thought we were cool, and so did they.
So did they.
I was one of them that hung out with people because I thought they were cool. I was
never the cool one. But it's just like you said. You always had the bad influence, and Tony just kind of led the whole pack of the bad influence,
and really didn't care who came with him or not, just as long as somebody was there.
Yeah.
He created the entourage, like that's the movie, the show Entourage.
Right,
that's this guy right there.
That's
right. But he looked good in white tight pants
he
too,
did.
and he danced well.
Yeah,
and
he's kind of scrawny by today's standards.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
And that scene where he does that, his famous, move things. That's just a beautifully shot cinematically. The disco floor is so cool.
The lighted floors.
Oh, I love those things.
And the expression on his face the whole time.
He was just in the zone.
So Italian.
In the zone. Those lighted floors always made me nauseous, though.
Really?
Moving too many different directions.
Remember the Highway W Club used to have one of those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah, you and I, we danced a jig there once or twice.
I think we did the Vanilla Ice thing.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, once we got done, we were all like,
that was one song.
Hey, we do all those in Zumba now. All those moves we do in Zumba.
So after this film came out, obviously the film was popular. The soundtrack was popular. The soundtrack, I believe, was one of the top-selling was the top-selling album until Thriller came out.
Many
I think
years.
so, right.
From Michael Jackson. So both entities were popular. It produced a sequel, Staying Alive. Did you guys see Staying Alive?
I think so, but I can't
It
remember.
stunk.
Did it really?
It stunk.
Well, I guess we're not going to be reviewing that one.
I just reviewed it. It stunk.
Done.
Done, over, we're good.
Oh, no. With that one, I don't know what direction they were trying to take him, but they didn't catch the magic
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live had.
Magic was gone.
They caught something, but it wasn't.
It wasn't
magic.
that. They have a pill for that now.
Yeah. It's a good movie. It's a good soundtrack. It's called Saturday Night Fever. Toby, you are awesome. Thank you so much for being on the
Glad
show,
to.
man. It was a fun show. I got to see a couple movies I hadn't seen in a while, and a movie I've never seen before, Fame, and I really enjoyed it. So
Visited my teenage years.
So thank you for coming in the studio. Sabrina, you'll be back next week with myself and Tony. We'll be reviewing the new Sofia Vergara, Reese Witherspoon film called Hot Pursuit.
Yes.
We'll also
I'll have to get in on that
I'm
one.
finally in the mood for a comedy.
I'll have to get in on that one.
We'll also review The Loft and Long Kiss Goodnight with Samuel L. Jackson and Gina Davis, I believe.
Gina Davis.
So that's coming at you next week at 6 p.m. For Luke, for Sabrina, for Toby and Chris. We are the Screen Team on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.